Okay, it is Crash Course again, and we are learning about asking and answering questions. Okay? And with me, we have my big class of 2 students. And the lesson we do today is something you already do every time you read a book by yourself. You're asking and predicting and thinking, what's going to happen next in this book that I'm reading? Or when a teacher reads with you, she asks you questions and you have to go back and think, oh, what did I hear? Well, let me look back, and you're answering questions. Okay? So I thought we would practice it together. With this book, I talked a little bit about last week with a sensory language, but this is called Suki's Kimono. And I picked this book out too because it's going to coincide with what we're doing in social studies. And in social studies, we're going to learn about the culture in Japan and Asia. And this book is about the culture in Japan. We're going to do an art project that is about koi fish, which are a really good symbol in China, but they also occur in Japan too. So I'll have another video, hopefully, or a kit that goes along with that, telling you how to do the art project for that. It'll be really fun. Okay, so first I want y'all to think of a question. If you're just looking at this cover, okay, it's got Suki's kimono. What are some questions that pop up before we read this book? What are you wondering in your head?
Is the book Spanish?
Is this in a different kind of language? Yeah, maybe Spanish or something we don't know yet. What do you wonder?
That if it's nonfiction or fiction.
Good. Is this going to be telling me or teaching me facts, or is it going to be made up? Is it going to be fiction? Those are great questions to wonder. When I looked at it, I wondered, what is a kimono? And I'm guessing it's probably this, but I don't know much about kimonos, so I'll have to read and find out. So we all have great questions. All right. As I read through the book, I'm going to read a page, and I may stop at the end of the page and ask a question. Some of the questions are going to have answer choices like we do on Education Galaxy, and some of them we're just going to talk about with my class. Okay. Suki's kimono. Can y'all see too?
No.
Suki's kimono. On the first day of school, Suki wanted to wear her kimono. Her sisters did not approve. You can't wear that, says Mari. People will think you're weird. You can't wear that, says Yumi. Everyone will laugh, and no one will play with you. You need something new, Suki. You need something cool. Okay, so here's her 2 sisters. And then this is Suki over here, and I guess she is wearing a kimono. Okay, y'all see? So my first question, and y'all don't answer out loud, okay, is, what does Suki want to do that her sister does not want her to do? Okay. What does Suki want to do that her sisters don't want her to do? So you might have some answer choices. And these questions and answers are ones that you find in the text. So we're going to only be looking within the text. Sometimes we infer or we build on our own knowledge, but these ones are usually going to be, the answers will be in the text. So we'll go back and read it. So let's read our answer choices. Okay. A, play together. Suki wants to play together and her sisters don't want her to. B, go shopping. Suki wants to go shopping. C, Suki wants to wear her kimono to school. D, Suki wants to go travel. Okay, so now that we know our choices, we're going to look back in the text and see what it says. We kind of already think we know the right answer, but we have to double check and look in the text. On the first day of school, Suki wanted to wear her kimono, but her sisters did not approve. Okay, so what's the answer choice?
C.
C is the correct answer. That was a really easy one because it said word for word exactly in the same. All right, let's move on. But Suki shook her head. She didn't care for new. She didn't care for cool. She wanted to wear her favorite thing, and her favorite thing was her kimono. Suki's Obakan had given her the kimono. The first time Suki wore it, her Obakan took her to a street festival where they slurped bowls of slippery, cold somen noodles and shared a cone of crunchy shaved ice topped with a secret red bean sauce. Okay, pictures help us know what's going on. Y'all see it? All right, so this question says, where did Suki first wear her kimono? Okay, here's our choices. Oh. A, at school. B, at her home. C, at a store. D, at a street festival. Okay, so all of these answers could happen, but we have to find what happened in the story. So to prove it, right? To get our clues. So where did she first wear her kimono? We're going to read back. Suki wore it. The first time Suki wore it, her Obakan took her to a street festival. Check. I've got it. I've proved it. I know the answer is D.
D.
Good job. I know you got it right at home too. Okay. So she's still kind of remembering the street festival. Look at those pictures. Those flying kites are awesome. Under the strings of paper lanterns, Suki joined her Obakan in a circle dance. She followed her and copied her movements. Trying to be as light and as graceful, she watched the other women and children who danced, especially those who dressed in cotton kimonos like her. So they're doing a special dance. Later, Suki sat so close to the stage that when her taiko drummers performed, bum, 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 she felt like she swallowed a ball of thunder and her whole insides quaked and quivered. Do you remember that? Before they left the festival, Suki and her Obakan stopped at a souvenir stand. There were many things to choose from, but her Obakan found the prettiest thing of all, a handkerchief of pale pink linen decorated with tiny maple leaves and cherry blossoms. When she gave it to Suki, she said, "This will help remember our day." So this is them picking that out. There's a picture of the drums. Bum, bum. Boom, 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 boom. Now it was time for school. Mother checked Suki's obi one last time and took a picture of Mari, Yumi, and Suki together by the front steps. Do y'all take pictures on your front steps on the first day of school? I know we take pictures in front of our door outside on the first day. It's a tradition, just like they do in this book. Then, as she watched, the three sisters made their way down the block to their school. Mari and Yumi stayed several paces ahead of Suki and pretended they didn't know her. Okay, this question is on the bottom here. It says, what were Suki's sisters doing on the way to school? So we read back. Do y'all have an answer?
No.
It says right here. We go back to the text. They pretended they didn't know her. Well, how would you feel if they were pretending they didn't know you? Not very good, right? But Suki had courage. Let's see what Suki did. But Suki didn't mind. She turned and waved to her mother before clip-clopping along in her shiny red gaita, feeling very pleased in her fan-patterned blue kimono. I may be pronouncing some of these words wrong because they are in a different language, Jacob. You were right on that part. Some of them are Japanese. Once in a while, Suki would lift her arms and let the butterfly sleeves flutter in the breeze. It made her feel like she'd grown her own set of wings. See, she's really enjoying wearing that kimono, the way it makes her feel. When they reached the school, Maria and Yumi hurried across the yard to a group of friends. Suki stopped and looked around. Some of the children turned and stared at her, while others giggled and pointed at her kimono. But Suki ignored them. She took a seat on the swing to wait for the bell. A girl dressed in overalls, just like a pair Suki had at home, sat on the swing beside her. "Hi, Suki," said the girl. "Hi, Penny." And there's all the kids looking at her. Some are laughing. And they're sitting together on the swing. "How come you're dressed so funny?" Penny asked. "Where'd you get those shoes?" Suki lifted her feet off the sand and wiggled her toes. "I'm not dressed funny," she said. "My grandma gave me these shoes." Suki started pumping her legs. After a moment, Penny did the same, and they were soon both swinging as fast and as high as they could. Swoosh! Swoosh! When the bell rang, Suki and Penny jumped off their swing and ran to the gym for the first day assembly. Once they were finally taken to their new classroom, Suki chose a desk near the window. Penny chose a desk next to Suki. As they waited for everyone to find a seat, two boys in front of Suki turned and snickered behind their hands. One of the boys reached over and snatched at Suki's sleeves. "Look at this! She's a bat!" he said. No, we don't like that, do we? That's not being kind. Suki felt her cheeks burn, but she did not respond. Instead, she concentrated on sitting up straight and tall, the way her obakan always did. It was easy to do with an obi wrapped snug around her middle. Her obi was golden and yellow, and in its folds, Suki had tucked away her pale pink handkerchief. "Welcome to the first grade," said the teacher. "My name is Mrs. Paggio." She smiled. "Let's introduce ourselves and tell everyone what we did this summer." When it was her turn to speak, Suki stood up and told her teacher her name. "Hello, Suki," said Mrs. Paggio. "What did you do this summer?" "My grandma visited us," she said, straightening her sleeves. "She brought me my kimono and my gaita." Suki raised her foot to show her teacher her wooden clogs. So there's the teacher. She's getting to show that stuff off. This is where she was sitting up straight and tall. I've got a question down here. It says, who gave Suki her first kimono? Okay. I've got answer choices. A, her sister. B, her grandma. C, her teacher. Or D, her sister. Do y'all know which answer it is yet?
Yes.
Okay, what are you thinking?
B.
Connor thinks B, so we go back and we check. My grandma visited us, she said, straightening her sleeves. She bought me my kimono. Got it. Connor, good job. Good thinking and answering questions. Somewhere in the classroom, someone laughed, but Suki took a deep breath and continued. The best thing was that when she took me to a festival, and there was dancing girls dressed like me, and they danced like this. She took a few steps and swayed her arms sideways. And everybody's watching. That's pretty brave. Look, now she's dancing, someone said. But Suki didn't hear. She hummed the music she remembered hearing at the festival. She remembered how it felt to dance barefoot in the open air on the fresh grass that tickled her toes. She tried to picture the other dancers, how they moved forward in the circle with the rhythm of the music, how they stamped their feet, first right, then left, swung up their arms, first up, then down, how they stepped back and back and back and then clapped. When Suki couldn't remember the next step, she just made it up, just to keep dancing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, stop. And she's got a smile on her face the whole time. I can tell she's enjoying it. When she finished, the room seemed very quiet. Everyone was watching her. Suki sat down, wondering if she was in trouble. But Miss Paggio said, "That was wonderful, Suki," and she started to clap. Then so did Penny, and after a moment, so did the entire class. The question here says, how did the class react or respond to Suki's dance? So some of the choices could be they laughed at her, they stayed silent, they ignored her, they clapped, right? And you would pick clapped because that's what you read that happened. After school, as the three sisters walked home together, Mari and Yumi grumbled about their first day. "No one even noticed my sweater." "My new sweater," said Mari. "No one even noticed my cool shoes," said Yumi. But Suki just smiled. As she clipped-clopped along behind them, Suki pulled out the pale pink handkerchief from her obi and held it up over her head to catch the wind. And in her blue cotton kimono and in her shiny red gaita, Suki danced all the way home. All right, I hope you like that book. Did y'all like that book?
Yeah.
Good. And answering and asking questions as simple as what we do all the time in class together and as you read on your own. Do you have a question?
Can we look at the picture?
Yes. You didn't get to see the book very well. Okay. I hope you have a good time on Education Galaxy this week and be looking to do the social studies activity where we learn more about Chinese culture and Japanese culture.